Welcome to the Entertainment Rants Podcast, your number one source for all things entertainment. Join host Marco Mazzola and his fellow ranters as they sound off on the latest movies, TV, and the world of entertainment. Now, here are your ranters for the hour, Marco, Mila, Larry, and Bruno.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Entertainment Rants Podcast. I'm, as always, your host, Marco Mazzola. Let's go around the room and see who we have on tap this evening. Hello, Larry.
Hey.
And hello, Bruno.
You don't want to get mixed up with a guy like me. I'm a loner dotty, a rebel.
A rebel. So that's it. We have 2 out of the 4. Well, 2 out of the
3 out of the 4.
3 out of the 4. I should count myself, I guess.
I mean, you should.
I probably should.
You're technically
the
leader.
Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? So tonight is technically Bruno's pick, right?
Yeah.
On our director's first movie. So Bruno, talk to us. What are we talking about tonight?
The stars at night are big and bright. Beep, beep in the stars.
Even the heart of Texas.
How are you going to quote that and then fuck it up?
Right, I fucked that up big time.
You
Big
did.
time.
You did.
We're talking about Pee-wee's big
It's not even that late.
adventure.
We're recording early tonight.
I know.
It still doesn't mean it's not going to go off the rails. If this thing lasts till like 9:30, it's going to be
Super long week.
It's been a long week.
It's going to be the last. I might lose it. You know me.
Yeah.
That 9:30 rolls around, I'm fucked. If the laughing fit starts.
Woof.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
So, gang, we are on Pee-wee's Big Adventure this evening. A Tim Burton film, his first film.
His first major film.
First major film. I honestly didn't remember that.
I didn't realize
until we
that
talked
either
about
until
this.
we
Like,
looked at it.
looking it up, like I completely forgot it was a Tim Burton film. But it makes sense.
Yeah.
You look at certain things like the large Marge situation, which almost didn't make the cut.
Tell him Large Marge sent ya.
But then you see the animation and that and all that sort of stuff like that. That's definitely
Yeah.
Tim Burton. But it was a young Tim Burton. He was only in his 20s, right? Like 27 or something like that when he made this film.
Yeah.
So, all right. So Bruno's going to do the rundown since this is his movie. Give us a quick summary.
So Pee-wee loses his bike, or his bike gets stolen. And the movie is all about him trying to find it and get it back. And hilarity ensues.
There it is, his journey.
There's really not, I mean, it's not a very deep movie at all.
It really isn't.
It's literally just him getting his bike stolen and then all the stuff that goes on trying to find it.
I'd say there's more symbolism than this and fucking Eraserhead. But anyway.
I got to tell you, I was listening to you guys on the Eraserhead podcast, and like halfway through, I was like,
Yeah.
like I was physically trying to prevent myself from vomiting when you were talking about like the head slicer and
The chicken fucking going to the blood.
chicken.
Yeah.
So full disclosure, I went back and watched most of the rest of it.
Okay.
Oh,
Like bit
my
by
God.
bit, I kind of
Did
like
you see the
fast
Eraserhead
forwarded.
part?
I did. I kind of skimmed it. I skimmed through to see some of the parts that you were talking about. I didn't like sit and watch exactly the rest of it, but I did skim through and watch
Yeah.
most of the rest of it. So I got the gist of the second
Yeah.
half of the
Yeah.
movie. And yeah, it was just as terrible as the first half. It made as
Yeah.
much sense as the first half.
Yeah.
It was just as bad. So I'm glad I didn't actually sit and watch it at like 11 o'clock at night.
I'm not sad I missed it.
Yeah, no, you should not be
You
sad
should
at
be.
all. Should not be sad at all.
I think everybody should watch it at least once.
Ugh,
You
good
guys
luck. You
definitely
hate
took,
yourself.
you
Definitely
took
watch
the
it.
hit on that one.
Yeah, we
Oh,
definitely
God.
did. Yeah, he was big time. All right, so Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Give us your rundown on this movie.
So it opens. You want the summary rundown, or you want like my opinions?
Let's go through some opinions first.
So this movie is like, let's call it a drunk favorite of mine and my brother's.
Okay.
So we
I like that
we
description.
frequently quote it to each other,
Sure.
and
Very quotable.
And it's, you know, most of the time, like if you watch this movie when you're drunk, like it can be hilarious.
Yeah.
Like I certainly don't watch it like sober and serious, but like
I mean, don't look for anything serious in this movie.
yeah. And you know, and when we saw it as kids, I remembered it being, I remembered his character being a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
And watching it now as an adult, you see more adult themes in it. You know what I mean? But I would, you know, does it hold up? Like,
It's tough.
More than Big
Yeah.
Top.
I think I think I saw Big Top when it came out, and that was the last time I saw it.
Yeah, me too.
At least
one was more than enough.
Yeah, at least with Big Adventure, I definitely have seen it more times, right? To piggyback off what you guys said with the whole quotable thing, I mean, I think for years it was, I know you out, but what am I?
Right.
I think that one... I think
My brother and I we're always like, well, buenos dias,
Yeah.
Like every the eye rolls, all of that shit is...
the that's my name, don't wear it out.
Right.
Take a picture to last longer. Like those I think that those three quotes are ones that just got used and abused, and still to this day. This movie came out in '85.
Yeah.
I think people still use it now, and I think it's got. I think
It's only
it's
an
got,
hour and a half too. It's not very long.
Yeah, it's a quick movie, but I feel like that
That
those,
was roughly the standard back then, though.
Yeah.
That really
Roughly
was, yeah, in the mid 80s,
Eventually
kind of
it
like
started,
in and out,
getting
in and
up to an hour
out.
45, and
Yeah.
now it's like gets ridiculous.
3 fucking
Well,
hours.
yeah,
The Flash movie's pretty. It's gonna be long.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think they have to.
We're tangenting, but who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Hey,
So,
right,
look, when-
right out the gate.
I think Ezra Miller is a fucking shit show, but the Flash movie looks good.
So the Flash movie looks amazing.
I hate to go watch his stuff, but
No, so do I.
They should have gone
pay
with
money to give because that gives him money. But the movie, and so far it's getting good reviews.
Yeah.
Even from like other directors like Stephen King and other people who like would normally shit on superhero movies.
Yeah.
Are giving it like good reviews, things like that. So I'm kind of excited to see it. There is one spoiler. Do you want the one spoiler? And if you don't like spoilers, don't listen. There's a spoiler in this movie that just got released by accident.
Fuck. Sure.
There's one character coming into this, supposedly, that somebody who worked on the movie let go by accident. They said they worked with him and they weren't supposed to release it. Nick Cage.
All right, so I saw something about that I just didn't know. Is he going to be Superman?
Back in the 80s, when they were supposed to do the Superman, they had that plastic suit they tried out on him.
Yeah.
And it was a Tim Burton thing after he made the Batman, and it never got off the ground. Like they had this whole production problem with making the movie, so they just killed it. He's in it. They did like a brief, because he kind of goes through the multiverse.
Yeah.
So it's like he's not in it for like any long period of time.
Yeah.
It's like it's a brief cameo or something like that.
All right.
So he's just like he's in it real quick. He's just kind of like, hey, remember this? Boom. Yeah, that's pretty fucking cool.
I mean,
Honestly, I think that's cool. I think that's kind of like,
wait.
that's kind of a nod.
But you know
It's
what
fun.
though? Is DC literally James Gunn?
Yeah.
Are they trying to steal shit? Because that's an MCU move.
No, but James Gunn had nothing to do with this movie, really, like in the beginning. Like he came on well after this movie's pretty much done.
Right,
and in the can before he came in.
Yeah, but this is in the world of
Never thought I'd
Hollywood
like
and movies.
in
You
the
can
can.
always do like
Yeah.
recuts and edit and go.
I don't know how much
let's
he's
put
had
that
to
in.
do with the recuts and edits.
But
of this
but
movie,
even if James Gunn didn't do it,
no,
right?
I think they just well, DC's done a lot of that.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
we'll
that's
get back
straight
to
up
Pee-wee in a minute.
stealing. I mean, that's stealing definitely ideas from
He
the
was
MCU.
like 30 some years old. He can win another minute.
can wait.
Yeah.
But like no, I think DC would like if you've watched, and I'm really sad the Arrowverse finally ended, but because
I know,
I
it's so
watched the
good.
final Flash episode, but like they've actually done better than their movies have all their crossover events, their
but
crisis
that,
events in a TV
it
budget.
was well done. The casting was pretty good. The storyline, it was like 20 episodes per season,
Yeah.
so there was tons of material there. I think Grant Gustin is a great Flash.
I wish he was the.
I wish
movie
they had gone with
Flash.
him.
Yeah, I wish he was at least he was going to make a cameo in this movie. He's not. He's not making a cameo. They had Ezra Miller made a cameo in the Flash show.
You did?
During the crisis stuff, he made a brief cameo. And they met with each other. Like, what the hell? I love your costume. Oh, he's
Okay.
like, that looks really comfortable. Oh, that looks really armored. Like, it was like really cool.
All right.
They did like a really cool crossover cameo, and then he like disappears.
Would have
you
been
know?
cool to bring him the other way. Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't do it.
Oh yeah, that's when they had the
Well,
old
maybe
Flash
they'll
too,
do it.
from
Yes,
like the
John Wesley's
1970s.
ship.
Yeah,
John Wesley's ship, which I
That's
love.
what, I
He's
did
been
see
in the
that.
series all along almost. He was his dad originally.
Yes,
He
he
played
was.
his father.
Yeah.
Then he becomes
The Flash
he
from
plays
another
he plays
universe.
with the helmet on.
Yeah.
He plays that Flash, the Jake Garrick Flash, for a long time. He still was towards the end, including the last episode.
And then he sacrificed himself and
He
died.
said, but
Yeah,
then
on
during
the
the
treadmill,
crossover
that's right,
stuff,
yeah.
during the Infinite Crisis one,
Right.
he is the 97 Flash. Because he's from Earth 97.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah, he is
Yeah,
that
so- yeah,
Flash from that one. He comes over in the original red costume. It's him. He comes because they have like Burt Ward is in it really quickly.
Yep.
From Earth 66.
Yep.
What's his name? Robert Wool.
Robert Wall came in from
Earth
Batman '89.
From 89's in it
Yep.
really briefly. Like that was like
And that was
like,
actually- that was
some
pretty cool.
really cool shit they
Yeah.
did during that. Like I
Yeah.
thought that was really fun.
Good crossover stuff.
Yeah, they did. Anyway, back to Pee-wee. Speaking of crossover with Batman, my little one of my many fun facts that I have on here. Simone, the diner waitress.
Yes.
She is a crossover with Batman Returns. She and Paul Rubens play the Penguin's parents at the beginning of the movie that dump him overboard.
Oh, no shit.
Yep.
Yeah. She's the mother.
So-
I see her in the window with Paul Rubens.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the two of them that dump him in the river.
Yep. And actually,
Tim Burton. Yeah.
So when I was looking up the IMDb,
He
as I
recycles
was-
all of his people.
Oh God,
Yes, he
yeah.
does. He
Oh
does,
yeah. When I was
absolutely.
watching actually when that part came up, I just happened to I had IMDb up. I'm looking at the different characters and the different actors and actresses, and I saw her name and what is she known for? This was actually like what started her career was doing
Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Well, sure. I mean, Pee-wee's probably a launch pad for everybody.
I mean, but she was already kind of like I don't want to say
The truck stop
seasoned.
guy. The truck stop guy was in. He was the janitor in Beetlejuice.
I mean, he literally took all the same people.
He's like, hey, what are you doing this weekend?
Yeah,
You're
One
like,
thing I didn't know.
Let's get the gang back together.
One thing I didn't know. Phil Hartman was a co-writer.
He was a co-writer.
So
I had
I was-
no idea. And
I
then you
was-
see him on Pee Wee's Playhouse a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, you also see Phil Hartman in this.
Yeah.
At the end, he's
At the
he's
very
at
end,
the-
right.
So, I want to start with the opening credits, right? Because right
Yeah.
out the gate, we're watching it there with my wife Karen, and was sitting down, and she's all there. She's like, "Oh my God, Pee Wee's! All right, cool." So we're watching it, and I had and the credits are coming through, and then it went past that, written by Phil Hartman, Paul Rubens, and I forgot the other person's name, and I went, "Whoa, wait a minute, what?" Stop, rewind. I was like, did I just read that right?
Yeah, is this the real guy?
Yeah, and it was like, oh my God. And, Karen was like, what? I go, look who's that written. She was like, oh my God, Phil Hartman? I was like, I know.
Who knew that he'd been involved in just like movies or theater?
But he was
even
involved
that
in the
far back?
creation of the character because they were in the Groundlings together with Paul Rubens.
Oh,
And
okay. Is that
Pee
how-
Wee was made for the Groundlings for performance on theater.
That's
where
right.
he came
Yeah,
up with the
yeah,
character,
yeah.
And then they decided to do the movie.
To do the movie.
So the movie came out obviously before Pee Wee's Playhouse. The
Right, the Players came out the year after.
Yeah.
So they were saying that the
kinda
play-
workshopped the character together.
So I remember hearing this years and years and years ago that like the theater stuff is so much more adult.
Oh
driven.
yeah, the Groundling stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like
that was
you-
not made for kids stuff.
Right.
That
So
was
that's why.
adult-
So
that
knowing
was adult
that.
skit comedy, like
Right. So
Well,
knowing
even the movie
that.
was really kind of adult. Yeah.
it was. You can see how kids could watch. It was really on the cusp, and but it was like it's doomed like that large Marge like is deemed as like the scariest scene in a comedy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because
slash
she like
kids
her
movie.
face comes through.
Yeah. It's that whole ghoulish, face with the eyes popping and the mouth and everything like that, the claymation stuff.
So, and actually I want to get that too, but I want to go back to the credits. So we see the credits, Phil Hartman. I was like, oh my God, holy shit. And then right behind that was music by Danny Elfman.
Their first collaboration.
So that's what I want to know, because I didn't look it up, and I didn't know if you guys, is this like the first time
It
that
is.
Tim Burton and Danny Elfman meet
So it's their
get
first
together?
collaboration. I
had
looked
to
it
be.
up. Yeah, I looked it up. It is their
Okay.
first collaboration, and Danny Elfman was kind of like, "Why do you want me?" Like he
Right.
didn't kind of understand it. He almost didn't want to do it. Like he was kind of like didn't really know Tim Burton because again he was an unknown. He was the first time director, and he's coming off of Oingo Boingo, and he didn't kind of
Exactly,
know
yeah.
like what was happening. But then eventually he's like, "Yeah, I'll do it." He kind of already had the music in his head. And once he kind of got the script, he was like, "Yeah," then he did it. But this was their first, and they collaborated forever until Ed Wood. I think was their first time they didn't collaborate because they had kind of a falling out.
Oh.
Yeah. I think he's done stuff since then. I believe they kind of got back together. But Ed Wood
I
was the
think so,
first
yeah.
movie that Tim Burton did that Danny Elfman did not do the score for.
Oh,
That's
there you
wild,
go.
yeah, because and it's funny too because of the Danny Elfman music that he's done for Tim Burton. Now, anytime you hear something that's kind of that's a
You know it.
I mean, there's
You
not many
recognize
people
it.
that do like scores that people recognize.
Yeah, John
Yeah.
Williams scores.
John Williams,
John Williams
absolutely.
scores.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Danny
Hans
Elfman,
Zimmer's
like,
scores
yeah,
are Hans
like-
Zimmer scores. You can identify them instantly.
Like you hear music that sounds like you're like Danny Elfman. I remember the first
Yeah,
time I ever saw The
absolutely.
Simpsons, I'm like, Danny Elfman.
What's his
Danny
name?
Elfman.
What's his name? Who does like the Toy Story stuff? You know what I mean? Like you get it. Like you understand.
Yeah.
You get that.
Yeah,
stuff.
it's the same flavor. It's
Yeah.
the same.
yeah.
It's the same
But
kind of stuff.
but again, like
And
I've
there's
talked
nothing
about.
wrong with that. Like,
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
right.
You get
No,
their
it's-
style
yeah,
if you
it's-
like
No,
the
it's
style.
a-
a
you like shit,
signature.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
and I
signature.
love his style.
It's kind of like when people talk about like, oh, I'm going to see this movie because this person directed it. Like me, I'm like, I don't really give a shit. Like for me, there's certain movies that I'm like, all right, I have to go watch this. It's a Quentin Tarantino movie. Like I don't give a shit what it is. I'm going to watch because it's Quentin Tarantino. I feel like music, who gives a rat's ass to this, like, who does the score? But you watch a movie and you hear it, or you see the names, John Williams or Danny Elfman, you're like, oh yeah, I gotta listen to this. Like,
you know it's gonna be good.
Like, you know it's gonna be epic, right?
Yeah.
So that's.
I think that's the kind of thing where, like, you don't go to see it because of the guy who wrote the music, but when you get the right guy, it makes everything better.
You know
Oh my God, hell yeah.
Yeah. I would never be like, oh, Danny Elfman wrote the music. I gotta go see this.
Yeah.
Like, nah,
Right. I'm not saying that's what makes you, but it's like you pay attention to it more because you know.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, this is fucking Danny Elfman music.
Yeah, you're like, of course this music's perfect. He wrote it.
Of course.
Yeah.
So the movie was actually supposed to be a remake of Pollyanna. Did you know that?
No.
I don't know what Pollyanna is.
It's kind of like this girl gets like sent to her aunt's house, and which is kind of miserable, and she kind of makes everything better. She makes everything happier in that life in that town.
Okay.
But what ended up happening was Paul Rubens went to Paramount, I think it was Paramount who made the movie, and like they all ride around on bicycles over there. Literally, they gave him a bike. That's how they kind of get around the lot. And he kind of stood around and was watching it. He's kind of like, oh. So he reorganized the script to be centered on the bicycle. And they took it out. So then what ended up happening, they kind of rewrote it, and they ended up turning it into, it's a remake. It basically shifted what the remake was going to be.
Yeah.
There's an Italian movie, the translation is called Bicycle Thieves.
Oh.
So it turns into it's a loose translation of Bicycle Thieves.
Oh, okay.
Which is, bike thieves go and they have to kind of, this adventure to go get this bike back.
Nice.
So that's
where they got the idea.
That's
Okay.
where they got the idea from. So yeah, which is an old black and
So
white
they
movie.
plagiarized.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they stole the whole goddamn thing.
Mid 80s.
Speaking of which,
you know what they say? Plagiarism is simply the art of concealing your source.
that's right.
Originality is the art.
Speaking
Says
of which,
the writer.
Speaking of which, going back a few episodes, we did the airplane episode.
Yeah.
I watched a clip of the original black and white airplane movie.
Okay.
The original movie.
Okay.
Which is
It wasn't based on that, though.
It is.
No,
Like,
Airplane was based on...
No. You can see actual parts that are mimicked in the airplane comedy movie. Like there's a scene where the kid comes to the cabin, but with his father, and it's him, and he goes to the captain. The captain gives him the airplane. He's like, "Hey, have you ever been in an airplane before, little Johnny?" But then obviously they take it to the really good. It's like, "Hey, you ever been in a men's locker room, little?" Right. You know what I mean? Like it's. I'll have to show it to you. Sorry, it's my watch. It's the exact scene.
Oh, okay.
So it's a direct derivative of that movie, but then obviously it has all the ridiculousness and things like that. But it's a takeoff of that movie.
I thought it was based on a different one.
Yeah, it's an original Airplane. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is not a comedy. Yeah.
I mean, well, yeah, clearly, I didn't think it was.
Well, it was
No.
it was a parody
So
of those super serious shows.
Right, but it was funny to watch the non-comedy version of Airplane.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny. I have to watch it after. Anyway, there's another tangent, but there you have it. So, go ahead.
So right at the beginning, like I'm watching this, and you could tell that this is just gonna be a wild, wild movie because
I mean, it starts with the Rube Goldberg machine, right? That whole how he made breakfast, like the whole unnecessarily complicated.
Yep.
like, but everything in his house was that. It's like everything from him getting up and just the wild colors in this. He's playing with the trains and he gets in his slippers and he walks over to eat the.
He was
I'm
an
like,
adult kid. He's never.
Yeah,
gone
he's
out,
like, yeah, he's a big, and then he's got a fire pole, which is pretty fucking
Yeah, that is
cool.
pretty cool.
And he
I was
slides
like,
down.
I might want a fire pole in my place.
Yeah, I mean, they're now
makeup
called
sucks,
stripper
but-
poles. I mean, I don't know if you want one. But yeah,
It
yeah. So he started to make
burns.
the breakfast and the candle and unnecessarily and fucking pancakes hitting the ceiling. I'm like, this is fucking just wild.
It was absolutely wacky.
Super, super wacky. But you can see that a lot of it is leading up to Playhouse, right? It's
Right.
like they took so many elements from that and said, yeah, we're just gonna
Make a kid show up.
make a kid show out of it. And I was like, fuck.
I mean, he's an adult kid. When he walked outside and met, I forget the name of his antagonist, but like the kid that was like, well, I want to buy your bike. And
Oh,
that
Francis.
Francis.
That's right. And that whole interaction, right?
From Teen Wolf.
I was gonna get into that.
Yeah.
He's in Teen Wolf. This came out at the beginning of August. Teen Wolf came out 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
So can you imagine watching this and seeing Francis and then seeing him
In Teen Wolf, it was
and you're like,
one of his best friends.
what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
Like I double checked. I was like, that's wild.
Yeah.
He was also in League of Their Own.
Yep.
When he gets older.
That's crazy.
Man. So
Did you guys, Marco, you might not be at this age yet. So my kids, when they were, well, some they still do now a little bit. There's a character on YouTube. This guy plays a character named Blippi.
No, we're not at the Blippi stage yet.
Okay. Well, you're not missing anything.
Yeah,
Well,
sure.
he's not bad. Watching this now, I was like, oh, Pee-wee's, Blippi kind of like ripped Pee-wee off a bit.
Yeah.
And you could see like there's a lot of similarities, and like Blip would be like, you know, like the laugh, and he acts like an adult child, and it's a little weird.
So it's one of those like, okay, it's been like 40 years.
Yeah, it's
Like,
been
you
40
haven't
years, so
much
we can rip this off.
yeah, let's rip it off.
Kids
And
nowadays, you know, don't really remember Pee-wee. So
Yeah.
yeah, ever since the
I was
theater
like,
episode.
oh crap, it's fucking Blippi. It's fucking
Pee-wee.
Pee-wee. Blippi's Pee-wee.
Mr. T cereal.
yeah.
Mr. T cereal, that was
So
amazing.
first of all, I saw that I was like,
Which is just a rip-off of Captain Crunch.
well,
Yeah.
so I saw the Mr. T cereal, and I remember when that was out, right? So now, first I'm watching, going, is there a licensing issue here? How do you get away with that? Like,
It was so different back then. I feel like they
Oh,
were.
you mean that it was in the movie?
that's in the movie, yeah.
I think there was no. You I think you still had to like pay for it. I just don't think they were strict with it. I don't think they're like, okay, everything's like 30 million, like $1 million.
I don't know.
for it.
I mean, I think you could probably throw it in there, and they'd be like, "We appreciate the advertising."
Maybe that's what it was, because I remember when Mr. T cereal came out, and I had it, and it was literally, it was Captain Crunch. That's all it was.
Product placement. It's product placement. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't look it up in the
Product
80s.
placement.
What the product placement like deals were like? Did you have to still clear it, and how much was it?
I mean, do you have to clear that now?
Yes.
If I wanted to make a video,
yes, 100%.
and I wanted to throw a Coke can in there, I have to
Yes.
get Coke's
if
approval.
you're putting out for production like in a theater, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
ridiculous. No matter
they're
what
like
it is.
now, like, trademark
Music,
trademark rules and everything.
is
No, music,
ridiculous.
no, but
that's a whole other thing.
I'm not
But
talking
yeah,
about that. I'm just talking about, like,
product.
if you're
you
driving
look
by-
at like take The Office, because I watch a lot of Office and I listen
Yeah.
to the Office ladies, their podcast, which
Yeah.
is fantastic, by the way. So they talk about it all the time. Like if you look at the vending machine, a lot of times the products be turned around.
Yeah.
So you can't see the Hershey bar stuff.
So you
in
just
front
see the
of it.
color of
you
it.
see the color, you know,
And-
it's
and your
brown.
mi-
you
and
see
your
the
mind
EBC
automatically
code,
goes to
but
Hershey's.
you don't see the front of it. Because they don't
Okay.
want to pay for all the licensing for all those real products, or the production manager the production people will make fake versions of products to stick inside the machine, so it doesn't
Alright.
cost them tons of money.
you go.
Every fucking episode, they
Okay.
have to license those. Yeah.
That
Yeah,
seems
it's
insane.
ridiculous. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it is
good.
licensing rights for everything. I know, right?
Isn't it amazing?
Right on top of your head. Well, we've lost Larry. You just gave him a Donnie Michi bar, so he's gone. So speaking of product
You're gonna need
placement.
some-
Bruno
Oh my God,
brought in
those things
some-
are great.
Bruno brought in some Nutella Be Ready bars.
Oh,
Crispy
my
wafer
God.
filled with Nutella. Forget it. Put it right on top of your head.
Holy
Put your brains
shit,
out to
these
get
are
to
good.
it.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Oh my God, these are so good.
Really good. They're really
And I'm not
good
a big
cookies.
Nutella fan, so like, I
get
saw you
yourself
post
some-
that, and I was like, nah, right? I'm not like the biggest Nutella fan, but
Right.
oh my God, I'm like, man,
Yeah.
these things are ridiculous.
they're-
Nutella fan. Who the fuck
Amazing.
is this guy?
I know.
Whatever.
Grew up on that
I'm like,
shit.
they
Yeah,
make
of
you?
course you did.
Like, what? You're not a Nutella fan.
Wait, what?
I know.
Something-
No, these are incredible.
They are good. They're really good.
My mother-in-law sent them.
Man.
Just
bless her.
unprompted.
God bless your little heart.
I gotta tell you, she's amazing.
Yeah.
Unprompted, she sent these things, and I'm like, "What are these?" And then I was like, "Well, it's got Nutella."
Nutella
in it.
has
So you had me at
exploded.
Nutella.
We're way off the,
Yeah,
the
right?
window. We're way off the reservation here. But
No.
Nutella
My
has
God, 23 years.
exploded
Past
in
10
terms of
years.
their in terms of their product marketing,
Yeah.
and the products they produce. It's not just like little
You
jars.
couldn't
of
even
Nutella
get it in the
anymore.
U.S. when we were young.
I remember.
We had
I
to
remember.
go to Italy to get it.
Yes.
And I'd go with her and be like, "What is this nectar of the gods?"
Yes.
And then we
I
come
remember
home
having
and
on
wait
toast
till
in the
we go
morning or
back.
whatever, and I was just like, I can't wait
yeah.
to come back
Oh,
here. Now it's everywhere.
Everywhere.
Bars, and you get little cups with little dipping sticks
with
and
little
everything like that.
dipping
It's
sticks.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Thank God. You see it in like Costco and those big food stores. You can get like giant tubs of it.
Yeah,
now.
it's ridiculous.
Just slather it. Yeah, I got you.
Take a bath.
But
in it
now I use it as my metric, like whether this is a good person or not. Like if somebody's like, "I don't like Nutella," I'm like, "You're a terrible person."
Larry's a so-so person.
No,
He's not a
Larry
big-
likes
he's not
it,
a
but not.
big-time
He's not a
Nutella
big.
fan.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't brought up the way that you guys were, so that's
Right,
why.
right.
I'm like, you know.
No, I'm just-
again, I don't.
I'm just
but
kidding around.
It's like the same thing with like,
I'm not kidding.
I know.
So, question for you. This is a way the fuck off the topic question.
But yeah,
Toast in the morning. You obviously have toast in the morning. Cream cheese and jelly.
no.
So yes, sometimes. Mostly just cream cheese, but I've had cream cheese and jelly.
You've had cream cheese. You?
No, man, I don't put jelly on anything.
Nothing. Jam.
No.
Nothing. You
That-
didn't grow
that's-
up with having cream cheese and jelly or cream cheese and jam?
It was mainly just cream cheese.
When I was young, my
Wow.
mom would make it with cream cheese and jelly.
Wow. That freaks me the fuck. My wife, same thing. Cream cheese. She said, what are you doing putting jelly on? Or jam. I don't like jelly. I like jam.
No.
I grew up with it. Like
Yeah.
my grandmother, my mother's mother always put jam or jelly on.
I can see the
toast.
jam. I have.
I mean, we had jelly, then we realized
no, I
jam
have-
is better. But
I
You know,
feel
my
like that's
wife did.
good.
She put butter. She do a bagel, butter, and then cream cheese on top. And I was like, what in the world
that
are
is
you
weird.
doing?
that's weird.
That's weird.
I'm sure it's delicious, but
But
that's weird.
it tasted great, and I was
Yeah.
like, I've never had this before. This is fucking
That's a great
weird.
combination.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
That is weird, but awesome. Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
It does sound awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds weird, but
And
awesome.
I was like, and I'll be getting diabetes.
There you go.
I'll get the
I can
beats.
feel my
my-
arteries hardening.
I can feel my left ventricle slapping shut right now.
I got a touch of the diabetes.
Touch of the diabetes.
The
Got a
beats.
touch of the diabetes.
Yep.
The you know what I saw too in this. I mean, obviously.
Are we going back to the movie?
Yeah, why not?
Cool.
Well, we have to get through it at some
26
point.
minutes in, let's get back to the movie.
So you got so many elements that are going to the TV show. We see it, right?
Usually we
Yeah.
tangent on movies we don't like. We actually like this movie.
I know.
Yeah.
No, honestly, but like
It was
Bruno
fun.
said, there's
Fun movie.
it's a quick watch. It's a junk, quick, fun watch.
was a
There's
junky, quick, fun watch, that's
There's
right.
not really a lot to it. Like you don't have to dissect things. You see everything, and this is what I was just about to get to. Like you see things about to happen, meaning the large Marge,
Yeah.
the stop motion dinosaur.
Alamo.
Fucking
There's no
amazing.
basement in
There's
the
no basement in the Alamo. But you see.
Jan Hooks improvised an entire scene, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yep, I saw
Yeah?
that.
She's amazing.
Yeah, but she's like 100 episodes of Saturday Night Live
Saturday
at
Night
that
Live.
point, yeah.
So you see the stop motion
Buenos dias.
from Beetlejuice, and you can see it about to happen, like the dinosaur.
Yeah.
You see the large Marge face, and you're like, that's
Yeah.
Beetlejuice. That's
Yeah.
fucking Beetlejuice all over.
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So you see like the start of it. It was almost like he was like,
The
I have
bull
this
he rode
idea.
was named Volcano.
Yes.
Yes.
Like that's what I'm talking about. Like my brother and I watch it. Like how you have a few beers and like you see shit like that and you laugh about it. Just it's that kind of movie. You don't take it seriously. You have a couple beers and you fucking laugh at all
you,
the
you
shit.
just watch
Yeah.
through it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved the biker scene, the biker bar.
biker scene.
Yes.
So
let him go.
no. Now here's the best part. Can we pick out a couple of people in the crowd there?
Yeah, Cassandra
Yeah.
Peterson.
Yeah. Who else?
Elvira.
Elvira's there. There's somebody else that's there.
The tall guy in the back. I don't know his name.
no,
the dark hair.
that's not who I'm thinking.
I'm sorry.
There's a guy to the side. He's got curly hair. He usually has a
to
note
the
from his
side,
mother.
really. It's out to the side, really.
Usually has a note from his mother.
Juan Epstein.
Juan Epstein.
Yeah.
So I saw that. I was like, oh my god, that's Juan Epstein. So I thought that like that scene again. That's another thing. That's
He passed away.
oh, did he?
You did? Oh man.
Travolta's like one of the only ones still alive.
I would say, is there anybody left of that class?
Boom Boom might be, but I know
Maybe
Ron
Boom-
Pelliano's gone.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you see Ray Stevenson pass?
I can't believe it.
He was only 58.
sad. Did we know how?
No, they
But
didn't release it
anyway, right?
They said it was like a sudden.
Yeah, that's what I
illness.
heard. It was like very sudden.
Yeah, and then
Awful.
Tina Turner passes like the
Tina
next day.
Turner,
Yeah,
unbelievable. She was in her late 80s, right?
yeah 83, 84,
80,
something like that.
okay.
Yeah, so I mean earlier, but look, let's be
good
honest.
life.
She had a
No,
pretty
no.
rough life, right?
She did. I mean, seriously.
Especially when she was younger.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean,
When she broke away from that
I-
piece of trash.
Yeah, he's a shitbag.
but that so this movie though.
But like, he's like, yeah, the James Bond stuff on my bike. Yeah, it's a lot of James Bond stuff.
Yeah, when
And then later on, it
it's a
was.
horn.
There,
Well, in the
but there was
movie
a lot of
where they
cool
make
shit.
the movie,
It was the foreshadowing.
No, when he
Totally.
was riding away for real, and he had like the smoke coming off
oh
the back.
yeah, the
And
ejector
he had
seat.
the rockets out that shot him
They
over
did
the
a lot of
fence.
foreshadowing in the beginning.
It was
of
very
that movie.
cool. Like they
Yeah,
actually had
do
it.
the James Bond stuff in the movie.
Yeah.
The older brother from Wonder Years was in it.
What was that?
So in the TV show, that when he goes to Hollywood to go get his bike,
Yeah.
and that kid is there, that the kid actor is just being
Yeah.
a little prick.
Right.
That's the older brother from Wonder Years.
Oh fuck!
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
right. I knew he looked familiar.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of like.
Yeah, that looks like
he-
the beginning of his career.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dottie is very well
She's a
known.
huge voice actress.
Yeah, she does like Bubbles. She does Tommy Pickles.
Yeah.
From Rugrats.
From
She does
Rugrats.
a lot of voices.
Yeah.
Very prominent voice actress. So, yeah. And Tim Burton, really briefly. When he's walking in the rain and the guys like jump him, the guy who like actually speaks at him is Tim Burton.
That's Tim Burton.
is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how he like hissed at them.
And you got James Brolin who plays the James
Which
Bond character
I-
with Morgan Fairchild. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty fucking cool.
That was super
James
fun.
Brolin playing Pee Wee fucking had
That
me
was
dying.
hilarious.
It really was, and you know,
Paging Mr. Herman.
Yeah, right?
W. Herman. And then like the voiceover in the movie
Yep.
for Pee Wee. That was hilarious.
I don't want to use his actual voice.
That's
It's
his
so
real
grating and
voice.
annoying that I want to use his real voice.
I watching this last night. It reminded me because again, it's probably been I don't know maybe fucking like
it's been-
20
yeah,
something
it's
years since I've
been
watched
years
this
since I've
movie.
seen
Probably more. I mean,
I don't know because I'm with you. Like
But I
in my
watched it, I
teenage
still
years, I would
remember it
throw
like
it
it
on
was
every once in a while.
yesterday.
Like
Yeah.
this is definitely I'm like oh fucking.
it was like this fucking Pee Wee.
Leave it on fucking Pee Wee shit.
Yeah.
You know, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Not movie theater jerking off somewhere. So let's watch this.
Well,
I mean-
listen, I think what was it? The MTV Music Awards.
He was on
It was
top
like
of the
right
fucking
after that.
world,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, after that happened. I mean, and here's the thing. So wait, let me get this straight. You got caught jerking off in a porno theater. Let me repeat that. You got caught jerking off at a porno theater. Well, fuck. What else are you supposed to do at the porno theater?
I know.
Honestly, right? So I think it was like the next year or whatever. It was like the MTV Music Awards, and he hosted it. And I remember he came out, and the fucking crowd went wild,
Yeah.
and he
Ah, I
just stood
didn't
there.
even know.
Oh yeah, and you could look it up. I'm sure,
Yeah.
especially now. But he goes out there, the crowd goes wild. And he just sits there and he basks in the glory, just
Of
stands
course,
there.
it's MTV.
It's like,
it wasn't the
yeah.
Oscars, it's MTV. They're like, yeah, fuck
Yeah,
yeah,
because
dude.
it's like, dude.
Why didn't you invite us?
Why don't you want to jerk him off?
No.
You want to be in a circle jerk with Pee Wee Herman?
Who's
Paul
that
Rubens?
circle? No, take care of
Boy, that
ourselves.
escalated quickly.
Guys,
I know, right?
guys can take care of themselves.
Last one, I don't know. Last one to go on the cookie has to eat it? No?
Wow.
Fucking deep
Usually
end.
it's me that makes the turn.
Wow.
This week it's Larry that makes the podcast take a turn.
Yeah.
Check that intro again. Hold on a second.
Welcome to
Oh,
the
no, okay, just checking.
Yeah.
It's like, is that a trident, Steve? You better lay low for a while.
There you go.
That was awesome.
You don't want to get mixed up with a guy like me. I'm the loner Dottie.
A rebel. So the bikes.
The bikes.
10 made, roughly. They said 10 or 11 made.
Oh.
Overall. To
Why?
use for the movie.
Why?
They did some jumps. They did some flying shit.
Yeah,
so
I
they
guess.
break
Yeah, you
things
can't use
get
the
broken.
same one to do everything.
Yeah, they always have like a hero one that's used for good close-ups, and they have just some fucking junkers. 2 are on display in museums,
All right.
and 1 was sold on eBay in 2011 or 2014 for $36,600.
Oh, my God.
And the other ones, nobody knows what they are. They're not accounted for yet.
Somebody's basement.
They're somewhere. I think he
Stay in the Alamo basement.
He signed one of them back to the bike shop that made them in California.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is
But
cool.
it was a bike shop that they're like, they paid. They're like, all right, do you want money or just like sort of notoriety saying this shop made them? They're like, money.
I'll take fucking money.
They're like,
Thank
'cause
you.
at that point,
Yeah.
like, they didn't know idea who this fucking guy was. They didn't
Yeah.
know who Tim Burton was. Like,
Yeah.
fuck, I don't know if this movie's gonna be big. Yeah, we want money. They got like 10 grand.
No, they
In
still made.
1985 money, 1984 and 85
They still
money.
made more money than they would have if they gotten like promotions. Like,
Yeah.
people aren't gonna be like, I'm going to that bike shop.
Because they made the PB Herman bike, yeah.
Yeah,
don't
no,
do-
it's like, no, I mean, it was a
don't
cool
do that
book.
shit.
It was a cool bike for a movie.
Yeah.
I'm not riding that fucking thing.
Right.
Like, that, I'm
You're
gonna get my
spend
ass
36
kicked.
grand on the actual one used in the movie,
Yeah.
not a replica one that they make for you separate. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's not gonna work. It's not gonna happen that way.
So, like in the big house, Mickey.
And when he
He's
goes
like,
to,
you know that mattress tag? I tore it off.
they tore it off.
he's like, yeah, I know what that's like.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I'm a bad man.
That was
It's just some really fucked up, wacky scenes like that.
I mean, that was the best part about that whole movie. Like as an adult, you're like, oh yeah, that's fucking hilarious. Like, because you expect like real violence, right?
right.
And then he's like, I have an idea, and then he acts like his wife.
Oh yeah,
you know. And then
But
the guys that get out of the car just want to see your outfit.
yeah.
What the fuck?
But
He
here's
gets
the,
out, he kind of does the dance.
Yeah.
Kind of twirls from a little bit. Yeah.
but then when he gets back in the car,
You did a good job of that. Yeah.
then he gets back in the car, and Mickey like eyeballs him up and down. I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna rape him.
Yeah, that's what I was
what the
thinking too.
fuck?
I was like, that was not the right kind of look.
That's again when I first saw that like 10 or whatever. It's like, oh, that's
You don't-
funny.
you don't even notice
You
it.
have no idea. Now as an adult, I'm like, oh my god, he
That's
wants
the
to.
shit.
Oh shit.
He wants a banger right now. Right?
He's looking at PB going, you're looking kind of money, and then
Look at my fine in them jeans.
Now, come on over here.
Come on over here.
Fuck me with the ass.
I know that you know that I know.
Oh man.
Hey, nothing.
Yeah. That was.
Come on over here.
I liked Eddie Murphy. That raw and the lyrics. We were talking about that the other day at work.
That was.
And
that was legit.
man,
Way to go there, Ralphie boy.
did
Hey.
Did
Don't
you-
go too fast. Get mad. Good job, my butt cheeks. Rip your dick off.
rip your dick off. Did you ever listen to like early Dice?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I listened to everything. He
Yeah.
did.
So
All the shit we probably
He was
shouldn't have listened to.
way,
Oh, my
way
God.
over the line. I mean, even now I'm still like,
Yeah.
was he a Neil and Bob, or is that just what you do?
just-
what you do with
Yeah.
Fort Feeling?
Fort Feeling, yeah.
That was a great movie.
Yeah.
So the other day at work, the reason why I asked this, the other day
Can't
at
wait till
work,
we get to that one.
fuck, we can make that one night, like at the end of June.
That'll be the final one to alienate anybody that might still
Anybody,
be
yeah.
One
listening.
last person. We got a comment on our YouTube channel, by the way. Did you see it?
No.
We did for the Eraserhead episode.
Oh my.
We did, yes. And I had Mila respond.
Well, it's her fucking movie. Why are you looking it up?
I'll look it up. Yeah,
So
yeah.
the,
No,
so
that
the
was
other
just a
day,
really good comment.
We're
I'll read it
at
out.
work, and I'm walking down the stairs, and one of the guys I'm passing by goes, Larry, quite contrary. And I turn around and go, Train that pussy, it's so damn hairy. And he goes, what the fuck was that? I was like, oh, sorry. I was like,
You don't know
and
who that's from.
I was like, wait a minute, you don't. Have you ever heard Dice? He goes, who the fuck is Dice? I go, Andrew Dice Clay. They're like, no. I was like,
If you don't know the word dice, you have no idea what's going
yeah,
on.
and he just
Yeah.
kind of like looked at me. I was like, little boy blue, we needed the money.
Yeah.
And he goes, no. I go,
Nobody knows.
fucking nothing.
Nobody knows
wasn't
none of that
one-
shit
There
anymore.
wasn't a woman who lived in a shoe, had someone to kiss her. You just fell out. He goes, what? I go, dude, you gotta go listen to Dice.
Do yourself a favor.
You have to.
Go look
Yeah.
up Andrew Dice Clay.
I mean, not if you get offended easily.
Well,
no,
do
these
not.
days that would not play, right? But
There's like 2 or 3 people that can listen to that still.
or like the Jerky Boys at the same time. Same
The
time.
early Jerky Boys are great.
Oh my God, those phone calls were unbelievable.
Unreal.
Yes.
That was when you could still make calls and not get figured out who that was. There was
Yeah.
no caller
Well,
ID.
Yeah, there's no
Star
call,
Star 69 wasn't out yet.
No, that was the
Although
day.
you can
back
block
in the
that
day.
too, so.
You
still-
could block the Star 69.
You-
Well,
block
but
caller ID.
that block came later.
Right.
So you
block
can
came later.
continue. Yeah.
Initially, you do Star 69 would work, and then people were like, oh, no, we don't want this shit to be universal, so we're going to come up with a block to it.
Yeah.
So then it was like Star 71 or something like that.
I'm trying to remember. Star 8571, whatever it was.
I don't remember exactly.
Did I ever tell you that story with American with AOL and my father?
No.
Fuck. It's like it was a 2-week long venture. When my father moved, he shut down the gas station.
Yeah.
And he moved his 0100 number to the house and used it. And so that's, instead of having just the home number and AOL on the house number, because back then, once you got online, that was it. You couldn't take fucking house
Right.
numbers because it would shut off your internet. So you put, star 77, turned off your call waiting.
Right.
Right? You set up
Star
whatever
64. Star 64?
Something like that. I think it was
Star
77.
whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember
so
that.
you would make it dial that star whatever, and then the number to AOL that it would dial out
Right.
for, beep, 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 and then you would turn off your call waiting. So we did that. And then 6 months, whatever. 2 weeks, and it would just do that. It would do it, and then fuck, why does it keep doing that? We were calling AOL, we're calling AT&T. Fucking weeks, 2 weeks went by trying to figure this shit out. Nobody could fucking
Wait,
figure out.
your father didn't tell anybody that he switched the gas station up to the house?
No, he did. He told
Oh.
them. He told them he had to tell AT&T. He said we moved it to this address.
Okay.
And they're fine with that. Like, okay, well, let's figure this out. They knew exactly where it was located.
So you got
They're
2
fine.
lines.
You had 2 lines.
Okay.
Trying to figure it out. Nothing. I'm looking like, what the fuck is wrong with this? I finally looked at it. I go, this thing's trying to turn off call waiting. Do you have call waiting on this line? He goes, no. So I unchecked the box. And it worked just fine. Motherfucker, 2 weeks. Hours on the phone with AT&T and AOL.
Turn it off and turn it back on again.
No, they did everything. They're checking the lines. They're checking the
You'd be surprised how
everything.
often just turning it off and on still fixes a lot of shit.
It was, but no, we turned it off and on the computer that did the AOL, and then you had to uncheck the box
Yeah,
to
makes sense.
stop the star 77 to turn off call waiting.
Sure.
That's all that we had to do. To stop it to try and turn off call waiting because there was no call waiting on that phone line.
Right.
So it was like a feedback. Like, nope, we can't do that because it isn't on this line. Like, you son of a bitch. All right, here's the quote, or not quote. Here's the comment we got last week from Susanna991 on YouTube. Well, it's
Susanna.
on Eraserhead. Well, it's definitely not a bad movie. It's surrealism. It's about evoking feelings. But I would describe it as a surrealist horror displaying the anxieties of a young man about becoming a father and the nightmare of what his life become or could become. The white things the radiator woman steps on are sperms. Granted, I'm a fan of surrealist media in general. I recommend some of his later works, Inland Empire, Mulholland Drive, and of course Twin Peaks. I also recommend Swarm if you're into more modern TV that blends with surrealism. Perfect Blue if you're into anime. There you go. Thank you, Susanna. 991.
Thank you, Susanna.
Pretty cool.
I mean, still a garbage movie. Even the surrealist perspective, because like if you have that much trouble delivering that message, so here's this is a pet peeve of mine. Do you guys ever see the movie? Was it something? What was it called? Something Atlas.
No.
I brought it up a while ago. I'll think of the name anyway. So, but what it was it was originally a book, and it was a pretty big book, and it was essentially 6 vignettes in the book, and it was basically trying to suggest that these souls kept dying and being reborn, and so they were kind of connected through time. And so it was kind of the story of the same group of people as time passed in different civilizations on Earth or on some planet. And it made these loose connections, and it basically was like, all right, we're going to throw all this shit at the wall, all these loose you're going to think this is really deep, but we're not going to explain any of that shit. And so go ahead, have at it. Just tell me how smart I am as a writer or as a developer of this concept. Yeah. And that is the laziest fucking bullshit. As a writer, I'm telling you right now, that is the laziest garbage that I can think of. Because if you don't have the ability to at least suggest what this is really going to mean to the layman who's watching this, to pick up, like, I understand if you've got an English class, like a lit class that's going to read this book and they're going to go deep and they're going to look at all different angles. All right, this could mean this, but it could also mean that, blah, blah, blah. Continue. That works fine. But if you've got random people who are going to watch this movie or read this book, you have to give them something to say, okay, I know you're not going to go super deep on this, but here's a 10,000 here's the 10,000 foot view to give you an idea of where we're coming from. And if you can't do that, you missed. That's a miss.
So I feel the same way as you. And when I watched it, I think I talked about it last week too, is for me, it almost felt like the director being very pompous about, I'm so super artsy fartsy, like you just said, like, I'm gonna create this and you're gonna love it and you're gonna eat this shit up because I did it.
Because I'm so smart.
I'm so
and
smart.
Is so creative. It's so deep.
It's so
deep
over
you don't
your
even
head.
get it. Yeah.
So over your head. That's how.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
I mean, maybe it is. But you've got to give somebody who's never seen it and doesn't study this stuff the ability to have some idea what's happening.
Right.
You can't just lay it at the feet of, it's surrealism, so it's too bad you didn't understand it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you're talking symbolism, then help the layman reader understand. Like, I didn't see the movie, so I don't know exactly
you're nailing it.
But you have to be able to, as a writer, a developer, you have to be able to say, for the basic reader, here's a lifeline to get you through the waters. And then somebody who's more advanced, more sophisticated, goes deeper and really goes crazy with it. But like, you have to, at the very basic level, you have to be able to say, here's the simplest concept that you can take away from this.
Yeah.
So we will get back to Pee-wee's Big Adventure
At some
eventually.
point.
I do promise that. But here I want to lay this down for you. We're all martial artists. We've all been studying for years. There's two schools of thought. There's the old school and the what you could maybe call new school of thought, right? The old school of thought was you come into a martial arts school, you're a white belt. We kick the shit out of you on day one. If you come back tomorrow, you're worthy of training. We only want the strong here, right? We only want the strong in our school. That's all we're going to train is the strongest of the strong. The new school of thought is you can be as weak as you want. We're going to make you strong. So we're not going to kick the shit out of you on day one.
We're going to build.
We're going to build you to being a strong, amazing black belt. And
So-
there's a lot of schools out there who still don't subscribe to that theory.
I understand
they still
where you're
kick
coming-
the shit out of you on day one.
I understand where you're coming from. Let me just make a quick interject something there. So you're right. Old school, like way we grew up in it,
Yeah.
was if you don't pick yourself up on your own and become a little thicker skinned, become a little stronger, you're gonna leave. You're not gonna.
But this, I'm talking about from
continue.
day one.
Right. So day one, when we went to class at Grand Masters, right? It was a tough class. There's nothing easy about any of that. But we
It was
decided
tough, but they didn't literally physically kick the shit out of us.
they did that on like day two. I don't know.
Yeah, it was day two, but they didn't do it on day one.
Like it was.
I was 8
No, but
when
it
I got
was-
started. I didn't like he didn't physically beat the shit out of me, like kick me around and stuff
I mean,
like
not
that.
on day one, but it's a metaphor. What you're really saying is they were hard on you. They were not coddling you, right? And that's a different way to do it than people do it now. And they're both. There's validity in both.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. But finish your point, and then.
Well, no, there's actually. So I think what I'm probably not describing it properly. There are actually schools who will physically like kick you around on day one. You go home with physical bruises and shit like that.
Yeah, but
on
is
day one.
is that the old school norm? I would argue no.
Yeah, especially in the 60s and 70s.
I mean,
yeah,
we
and there were
grew up
still
in that.
people. No, we grew up in the 80s. It started to flip the trend when more kids were doing it. So it was a little less acceptable at that age. But in the 60s and
know about-
70s, it was still mostly adults who got taught, and that's why a lot of what we learned was not really appropriate to teach. You know, we talked about this. You don't really need to teach knife techniques to an 8-year-old other than use your feet to run the fuck away. Because there's no way you're defending against a knife at 8-year-old. You know, no matter what technique I teach you, it's not going to fucking work, so just run.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because these were techniques that were taught from men to do battle and war. And then they started teaching kids and had no forethought of going, should we be teaching this to kids? How do we teach? What techniques should we be teaching them? What skill levels do they have at 8 years old? And what techniques should we teach them and how and when? And that was never thought of. Like, this is what my instructor taught me in the 50s. So they taught it in the 60s, and then the 70s and the 80s came around like, oh shit.
Yeah,
we
you
can actually make a
essentially-
business of it now. I have kids in my program, but I don't teach it any different than I did the my instructor taught me in the 60s and 70s.
You're essentially saying they did not create a children's program.
No,
and you're right.
they just had kids in the school.
You're right.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yes, you're right
that
about
was a
that.
problem. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Nowadays it's a little different. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They actually, you know. So again, it's that.
So
whole
how does that translate into what you were trying to say?
So basically, nowadays it's you can be weak. You know, we teach kids from all over the place, right?
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't when we went through the program back in the 80s. There were no kids with autism in the program. There was no kids with special needs in the program. They wouldn't have lasted 5 seconds in our school.
Right.
They wouldn't have been even accepted in our school.
Right.
At least a third of my school is that because we incorporate them, we welcome them, we try to make them. They're some of my best students, for God's sakes.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're some of my hardest workers. You know what I mean? They're some of the smartest people I have in my school.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're incredible people. You know, and it's a shame. Like back in the day, that just would have never happened.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I assume you're going to tie this back into the surrealism.
Well, it was kind of what you were saying, that's sort of like old school. The you know,
The balance
the
between
balance. Yeah.
Yeah,
balance.
you're absolutely right, and I think there's I think there's validity to both schools in some ways, right? I do like the welcoming everybody,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm a big believer in call it self responsibility.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, I can only bring you. I can lead you to the water.
Yeah.
You have to drink.
Yes.
And, I can't spoon feed that to you. Even though I could,
Right.
it's not good for me to do that.
Yeah.
It's like, I've got 2 young kids. I could dress them when he's 7, but he should already know how to do that, right?
Right.
He can, I can dress him. Yeah, and if he's asleep, and I can, if I carry him home late at night because he fell asleep at my mom's because they were babysitting, and we go pick him up and we come on, I got put him in the bed. I'm changing him, right?
Yeah.
But if he gets up every morning, I've taught him, look, you've got to know how to get dressed on your own.
Right.
You know, and he was doing that at 4. So like you have to let them take some responsibility for their lives.
In a karate
and their
school,
things.
it's more of like you welcome them in because they're not strong. And you make them strong. So by the time they get the black belt, they are strong. And you can kick the crap, right? But they can defend themselves. They can actually deal with it.
Yeah.
Because over time, you've built them up. You can't expect them to walk in day one and be able to kick the shit out of them and go, yeah, I can do this. I'm coming back at you tomorrow.
I feel like the difference...
You've never had any of this before.
No, because if that ever happened, that would be surreal.
It would be surreal. I mean, you don't send a soldier, you sign them up for the army and they go, okay. You don't sign up for the army and then day one you're off to war. Don't you have to go through a boot camp first?
Yeah, but the army is your old school. In this analogy, the army is your
It's a quick version of, we have to make you tough.
It's your version of the old school.
Yeah, but except you still have to like get tough.
Yeah, and you have to do it on your own. They're not going to coddle you.
No, right? I understand what you're saying.
And so that's what they're saying is the old school version was, look, you came to us, you want to learn this stuff. You know, and you know, to a large degree, that's how we grew up doing this. And so we had to get strong and quick, and we had to be motivated. We had to like it. Like if we didn't like karate, we probably would have stopped, and that would have been the end of it. Yeah. And they wouldn't have cared. And they would have said, good, we've weeded out the weak, if you want to call it that, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like now we're saying, look, you might have come in here weak, but we're going to help you but you still have to do a lot of work.
You still have to do the work.
And I think there's validity to both. You know, the old school method was a little bit harsher, right? There was no forgiveness. There was none of that. But you know, I like the way we're going. I like the direction we're headed. As long as we're teaching them to become self-sufficient.
Yep, me too. All right, now that we're at 51 minutes, back to
I don't know where the fuck that was going and how I even went there. That's why
I don't know. We're talking about surrealism and the bullshit writers on this saying they were super sharp and super everything. I understand where Susan was coming from.
Yeah.
You know, and in a lot of good surrealistic movies and books, that's valid, but I don't. It doesn't sound like this is a good one.
There's a little bit of surrealism in there.
Not really.
There's not surrealism. There's symbolism.
There's a lot of symbolism.
I wouldn't go as far as surrealism because it's all
There's a
real.
lot of like shit that means nothing.
But it's real world. So this is when I look at the difference between surrealism and symbolism. Surrealism is completely fucking wackadoo. You look at it and go, yeah, it's a dream state. It's a fucking dream state.
It's essentially a whole dream state.
It's a whole dream.
Where everything means something else.
Yeah. It's like, hey, like in Eraserhead, it's like, hey, you know, those things that are coming out of his mouth look like little fucking aliens, but it could represent sperm, but it could also represent something else. It could be the whole thing is a dream state, and you don't know if the fucking guy's dreaming or not. Symbolism is, hey, that's a dinosaur, but I think that really is a fucking metaphor for his penis. Oh, okay. There you go. Like, so for me, it's a little bit more, I don't know, it's a little bit more cut and dry, the difference between symbolism and surrealism. So when I look at Pee-wee's, it was...
I wouldn't say Pee-wee was too surreal. I would say it was mostly just symbolic.
Yeah, like that's all.
It was very basic. Like there was nothing complicated about it.
Yeah, that's and hence the reason why we've been able to bounce around completely off of it.
Tim Burton's movies kind of get to that state. I mean, they get a little bit more out there and out there as his
career
goes.
They definitely get more out there.
They get more out there.
Bride and Edward Scissorhands, and they start to really, Beetlejuice, obviously. You know, they get more out there and out there as the days go on.
Yeah, but then he brings it in. He does things like Sleepy Hollow, which was a fucking great movie.
Yeah. Ed Wood.
Yeah. But
I'm not usually a Tim Burton fan, I'll be honest.
Oh, I love Tim Burton.
I'm usually like, because for me, he feels like a one-trick pony. Like
it's a style.
His visual aesthetic is one thing, and that's it. Like I don't know that he's developed much from that.
No, it's a style. He's very stylistic.
Yeah, but he's a.
But I think a lot of directors
Pee-wee's is very different, though.
But I think a lot of directors are very stylistic. You know what I mean? Like if you look at a Michael Bay movie.
Well, sure.
You can look at a Michael Bay and go, that's a Michael Bay movie. Well, not just explosions. Like there's that yellow, orangey tint to every fucking movie he does, and there's like that lens flare when he does the circle around.
He likes the lens flares, but
right, like that same shit. You know, the John Woo's always got the birds. So it's got the doves flying out. Like, okay,
Yep.
this is the birds. It's the
But
John
the
Woo
birds
movie.
look different. Like I feel like Tim Burton's got the same character.
I know what you're saying,
like,
Bruno,
I-
and it's
I
not.
guess-
He's not wrong.
Like,
No, he's not wrong. No,
What I'm
no, no,
saying
no,
is
no.
take a random picture from any of his films and put that character in front of somebody and be like, which Tim Burton film is this? And you'd be like, I'm not really sure because it looks like it could be in any of them. You know what I mean?
Or just take Johnny Depp and go, what movie?
Which
Go,
movie?
fucking all of them.
Oh, every
The
Tim
fuck?
Burton movie, right?
I don't know. Pirates of the Caribbean. He didn't even do that movie, but it still looks the same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean by his style is so ingrained. And don't get me wrong, it's a style that millions of people love, and that's great. That's great.
Yeah, because even his Batman movies,
It's not my style. Yeah.
which are
It's
not
very
Edward
Batman.
Scissorhands, it's still very much
it's,
Tim
it's,
Burton.
Tim Burton,
you
right.
can see that.
Yeah.
that
Even when you
There's
go
a
to
very
like
strong
Batman
influence.
Returns
Very strong.
and you go to the zoo, the Arctic Zoo,
Yeah.
and you see all like the trees and the spirally stuff, like all the and he comes to like that point and it's all hung over.
Yeah.
Like it's Tim Burton.
That's Tim
It's
Burton's
Tim
touch,
Burton's.
yeah.
You know, whoever his production designer he probably brings along with every.
It's like the same production design.
I'm sure it is. He
it's like,
he-
yeah, we got
he-
another, we got another job to do. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's
He's got
go.
his team, his trusted team.
Yeah.
And he just brings around Danny Elfman in his pocket and his
Yeah.
production designer.
Well, I mean, it gets to a point that like
when
you.
Anton first died, but
well,
unfortunately,
well,
so you work on the second one.
The good thing about that though is he uses the same people, so he doesn't have to explain shit to people.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like working in
Yeah.
the construction field. You know, you have
Yeah.
GCs that are out there that work with the same electricians, same plumbers, same carpenters.
You know how they work. You know how I want
you
the
know
work
how they
done.
are,
And they understand what you're looking for.
Yeah.
You tell
You
the
understand their
electrician one
shortcuts,
time.
and not shortcuts, but they're
Here's
shorthand.
Here's
Yeah.
how I want my house wired,
Yeah.
and this is what we're going to do.
It's
all
not even
of
that. It's hey,
You understand the shorthand.
this is my kitchen.
it. Yeah, I got
How many
it.
lights you got? Cool.
Got it.
And so before, that's how it was with me when I worked with my old boss. We worked with a couple GCs and we went to all their projects.
Yeah.
And the good thing about that now is we know the plumber, we know the carpenters, the plumbers know us. So now there's never confusion of I'm in his way, he's in my way. The plumber knows, oh shit, there's gonna be a switch in here. I know, okay, wait a minute, he's got his mixing valve here. Let me not put my wire through this bay. Let me go up and,
Yeah.
so it happens like that. And then the GC, goes, hey, this is a kitchen. I got an island here. There's my countertop, fridge micro. You got this? Got it. See you later.
Yeah.
So that's how it is with Tim Burton. He uses the same people. He goes to his production. He goes, "This is a forest. See you
Yeah.
guys in 3 weeks." And they're like, "Cool."
Sounds
He
good.
comes back. He goes, "Yeah, it's exactly
Yeah.
what I wanted."
Yes,
So, I
timber,
mean, it's-
timber forest.
Yeah.
Creepy trees sounds
Yeah,
good.
creepy
Yeah.
trees, yes.
Yeah.
That's it. So I mean,
and that's fine.
Hey,
That's
we still
fine.
got them creepy trees from Edward Scissorhands. Yes.
Let's bring
good.
those in.
All right, good. We're on Willy Wonka. Let's just put those in here
We'll
now.
save some money over
Paint,
it.
paint them orange and bring them in.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little spray paint.
And
or
again,
Australian
like,
Dr.
I don't mind that he does that. I think it's everybody's. There are people that love his aesthetic, and that's cool. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's totally fine.
I happen to be one of them.
Yeah, and that's
And not to
great.
say that I love
It's
every
just
movie
not-
that he's done,
It's
you know
not
what I
an
mean?
aesthetic that I'm really into.
Yeah.
So I'm just not. I don't really go for those movies, right? But
It's not something that I'm not into.
You know, for me.
Super judgmental. Fuck off.
like
Nice.
I mean,
I joke.
me, it's not me.
You got anything for
Actually,
me?
was it Wednesday?
I
Tim
got
Burton?
something for huh?
Wednesday was Tim Burton, right? The,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Wednesday show on.
Yeah, he was the main person, but I said that
Yeah.
there were other people
Yeah.
that were involved. But yeah, that was
But
that was
you
a
can
Tim
you
Burton.
all over that show too.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
But I mean, again, it fit really well.
Are you ready? Hold on. Wait for it. Ready?
Hit it.
What was that?
One more time for the kids at home.
I need a
Larry, I need a price check.
price
On 8.
check.
Price check on 8.
it's-
Did you ever
'cause-
see Impractical Jokers?
No.
So it's like it's another one of those like hidden camera shows.
Yeah.
These 4 guys, Sal Volcano. Now one of the guys,
Oh,
this
I
guy.
have seen this.
So this
I have
guy,
seen it.
he's actually gone from the show now. But he did this. I mean, he's done this skit a bunch of times. Joe Gatto. He's my favorite. Unfortunately, he's the one guy who's gone from the show now.
I thought he's back.
He came back for a couple of
Okay,
things,
okay.
but he just went nothing reason. He just kind of like he wanted, with his family and
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Been doing it for a long time on True TV. He does this great skit where he's looking for the manager Larry. And he can never find fucking Larry. So at one point he's in this grocery store, and the other guys are like behind the scenes. They're like, "Hey, you need a price check on that." They're in the air. Like,
That's right. They
and
gotta
he's
tell him what to do, right?
He's like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
tell him what to do." He's like, "Oh God." They're like, I wonder if the manager knows. I wonder if he's here. I wonder who's the manager today. Larry. So he's just sitting there, and this poor lady standing in front of him, just like, Larry, price check on it! He's screaming. The lady's like, Jesus. He's like, I'm sorry. The intercom is down. He's just screaming, Larry, price check on Brochatini!
Oh my God.
He's just going.
So now we have
So
a
then
new...
the guy, like, eventually he can't find him, so he goes booking through the store. And you see him on camera just running across, like, Larry! Lady! Eventually he gets back to the register. He's like, I forgot he's off on Tuesdays. You have to watch this on YouTube. It's hysterical.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Those guys are great.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah.
Those guys are good. So
Larry, price check on asparagus. Multiple asparagus, asparagus.
so since we have a price check, that could only mean it's budget versus gross.
Budget versus gross.
Right? Give me a budget, gents. This is 1985, Tim Burton, as wacky as it was. Give me a budget.
I'm gonna say 33 million.
Wow, what
way
the
too
fuck are
high.
you on?
I don't know.
1985?
Well, let's see. They would
Superman
have
was
had
$8
to,
million.
They would have had to rent out the studio. Right?
Yeah, it's a lot change.
It's a lot, yeah.
Big lot.
So you went
And
to a
they
lot of different places.
They went to a bunch of
Plus,
places.
they went to the place
They had
out
a
in
train.
New Mexico or whatever, where they with the actual dinosaurs
go to
on.
the
That's an actual
Alamo?
place.
Yeah.
Did they really go to the Alamo?
Yeah, I think so. But that dinosaur place, it's in Mexico or it's in New Mexico. It's an actual place
That's
you
a
can go
real
visit.
spot.
So,
So there was
I am
location
gonna
shooting as well as
say-
in Culver City and like in the studios, a lot of on
yeah.
a
It
lot of
was a big
stuff.
studio. I've been to that studio.
Yeah.
I went with my brother.
Sure.
Speaking of studios, though, Ray, why you think? I thought the getaway scene going through everything. I thought that was fucking
That was
awesome.
funny.
That was
With the
really,
Godzilla scene
Yeah,
they
with the
went
sun-
through,
yeah.
that was really good.
I thought that whole like escape, like with going through the Twisted Sister video, which was
Oh my
awesome.
God, that
seeing
was
Twisted
awesome.
Sister, like
And
that whole
even
thing,
they were like,
kinda,
I'm
it's
the fuck up.
copied, right? Like in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. When they're kind of doing the same
Oh,
thing.
yeah. When they're
kind
running
of
through, yeah.
an homage to the Pee-wee thing.
Yeah, but yeah, I just wanted to point out that was a fucking great part. I
that was
really
good.
enjoyed that.
Yeah.
All right.
Jesse,
So what was your guess on?
My budget guess. I'm gonna go.
I'm picking up Mila's slack, by the way. 33 million. She can
Yeah,
never,
right?
She can never get.
I think that's way off. But
Yeah, no, it's way off. It's gotta be way off.
There's a lot of travel, and they had to rent that lot. I'm gonna go with 1.7.
all right. Are you guys sticking with your 33?
No, okay. I'll put it down to like 5.
It was 7.
Okay.
$7 million.
It's a $7 million budget. What was the gross?
I think it was big.
It was big. That I know was big because I don't know what it was, but they started in a limited release, and they found out like they had something big, like it was getting a lot of popularity, so they put it out to a wider
Yeah.
release. But I still don't know what the gross. It's got to be
I'm
over
gonna
100
go-
million.
No,
You
I'm
know?
going 85 million is my guess.
44.
That's it.
Oh wow, I'm surprised.
By now, I thought it would have been a bit more.
Budget $7 million. Gross was 40 to 41 million. So they made 6 times the amount.
Well, I mean, they did well.
Again,
I
so-
mean,
I mean,
for
It's
them to
no
make a TV
eraser
show
head
and
for
a
like
second movie.
700 times.
Yeah, I mean, it's not enough.
But
you know.
I think Eraserhead got that much again because, like you said, it's they re-released this fucking thing in 60,000 different languages. It's
Yeah.
limited releases, and now
how did
then it
it-
becomes posh if you go watch it. Like I watched Eraserhead to show that I have some sort of fucking higher than thou education, and I'm just better than you because I watched fucking Eraserhead.
You want to know how you can represent that? We should get together and make a quote unquote surrealistic movie, and just have it be like we'll film. It'll be like Clockwork Orange kind of bullshit. We'll film like a pot boiling, and then we'll drop an egg in there. And we'll be like, that's life boiling you to the cauldron of life, and then we'll
Really done that? Here's
then
your-
that'll
here's
like
your li- here's your
then that'll
brain.
drop on
Brain
a
on drugs.
cat. The cat skulls and burns, and then we'll release the movie and be like, look, if you don't get this, you're a fucking pleb.
Yeah.
A pleb?
You're a nobody.
And yes, many cats are injured during the making
What
of
is
this
a
movie.
what is a pleb?
A pleb. So a pleb is
Sound like a plank.
Yeah, right. Pleb is short for plebeian, which is essentially saying you're unsophisticated commoner.
Oh,
Essentially.
you're a peasant.
You're a peasant.
Fuck.
You're a mush.
No,
In the
mush is bad luck.
No, mush is dead brain.
No, mush is
yeah,
bad luck. You're a mush.
plebeian
No, that means dead brain.
of or belonging to the commoners of ancient Rome. And you're a commoner. You're like an unsophisticated commoner. That's bad. So you just say you're a pleb.
Figures the Italian comes up with something that originated in Rome.
Yeah. So it's a big literary thing.
Oh, pleb.
Yeah. Maybe not just literary, but it's.
I like that. I'm gonna have to use that one.
Yeah,
What's that calling guys at work? Plebs.
fucking pleb.
Fucking pleb.
And
They look at me like,
they'll be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
this, you pleb.
And then you throw an interro bang at the end of that.
Bang.
There it is.
That's how to come full circle. I love that.
Awesome.
Full circle.
All right. So favorite part of the movie. Thank you for playing the footsie.
Favorite part of the movie? I don't know.
For me, it's got to be the Alamo. Every time my brother and I watch it, when he's wading through the tour, and he's like, "Can I?" And she's like, "We'll take questions at the end," and he's rolling his eyes. And then she's explaining about all the different corns, and she's like, "We're gonna go over the hundreds of them right now." And he's like, "Oh, fuck me!" You can see him he'd just shoot himself in the head if he could. And then the whole thing, and she's like, "Well, buenos dias," and the corny jokes, and he's like, "I want to kill somebody right now." That for me was the funniest part.
The whole setup of the movie, the beginning, him in his house, the setup of how this character is, I like that. The extra chain that he had for his bike.
Yes.
That was good.
Which, do you see the film flub on that?
No.
So there's a film flub, which I'm going to get to this whole subject in a second. Especially if you watch a better version of it on DVD or whatever, they didn't cut it right. So you can see underneath the tub, it's like that big tub, you can see the chain coming up from underneath.
Oh, gotcha.
Feeding it from underneath. So whoever panned the camera didn't cut properly. So you can see the bottom underneath, so you can see the chain coming up from underneath.
Oh.
They didn't cut it if you watch it again, yeah.
I'm gonna have to go home and go
Still
see
funny,
that.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Are you actually thinking they put that much chain in there? That's not
No,
Right.
If the person who filmed, got the camera dialed in right would have
Fucked it up.
They would have cut that off.
Yeah.
Just tighten up the shot a little bit. You wouldn't see the bottom of the tub.
Yeah.
There's a few inches you can see underneath. So I was
Still
huge
good, though.
back in the 90s.
I was laughing when we did
Oh
that.
yeah, no, it's still a great scene. I didn't see it right away the first time I saw it. It wasn't I watched it again on DVD or whatever that I finally saw it. I was huge back in the 80s and 90s. There are these books called film flubs. Now you can just go on moviemistakes.com or whatever and see all these things. I was huge into movie mistakes. I loved watching. Then I go back and watch them.
Yeah.
Because you're looking for him, yeah.
You're looking for him.
It's giving you that insider.
Now they have continuity people who make
Yes.
sure that.
But they still fuck up. I mean, constantly.
Yeah.
Constantly. Some of my favorites always Star Wars. Some movies have hundreds. Star Wars has hundreds. I forget currently. I have to look it up. What is the highest one? Star Wars, the original, was one of the highest at one point.
Really?
I believe that.
Yeah, the stormtrooper that knocks himself out, things like that coming in through the door. There's a bunch of them, right?
Did you ever see this one? He's walking through and the
The whole
doorway's a
team
little
are coming
low
through
and he
and
bangs
just
his head and he's
Luke's just print it, fuck it, we're not doing it again.
That was great.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I gotta watch that.
Yeah, there is one.
Jesus.
The Death Star.
It's
He's
funny.
punked. There's in The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy's hair changes length constantly throughout the movie. Her pigtails change length constantly.
That one I know, yeah.
At different times and different order. One of mine that I saw and I actually submitted to moviemistakes.com. We've all seen My Cousin Vinny.
Yep.
Yeah.
The scene when he and Marissa Tomei are having lunch on the picnic table, and he starts describing how to take apart a carburetor.
Okay.
So he's sitting down, he unwraps his utensils, and they cut and back, and he unwraps them again.
Oh.
In the middle of this dialogue that he has, a weird thing. And
Well, maybe he was unwrapping hers.
Nope, she was already eating with hers.
Oh.
He unwraps his twice.
Okay.
They cut through it twice.
Well, there you go.
Time
Yeah.
on his hands. Lots of it.
Lots.
I just
of time.
No, I was just watching. Did he
Lots
just-
of time. But
Well,
this
it's a
must have been
DVD.
before the baby. Because,
No, this is years ago. This is years ago.
yeah,
This is
now
when
he's
it-
got no time.
This is when it first came out on DVD or something like that. I watched it. I'm like, did he just fucking unwrap that twice? And I rewound it.
I've
Yeah,
seen
he
that.
does. He
I've seen that a
unwraps
couple
fucking-
times though. It's
It's awesome.
you watched.
Well, you get the Starbucks cup and the Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Yeah, that one blows my mind. How in this day and
Yeah.
age, how that
How do you-
fucking was
how
like,
does that
hey.
They were like, whatever. They didn't
I've
care at
seen-
that point.
Yeah,
they
I've
didn't give a
seen
shit
like
at that
movies
point.
where the
Somebody came out and talked about that at
What
one
was it?
point.
I was-
I didn't care.
it was on Grease when the waitress, she's shutting down the restaurant, the diner that they all hung out at, and she's talking to the other girl. She goes to shut the light off with her elbow, and her elbow just hits the wall. Like it doesn't really hit the switch,
Yeah.
but the lights go off.
Yeah.
Like
That's
I caught
awesome.
that. Like I've seen that movie thousands of times. And I
that's
was
amazing.
like, hey. So
There's a bunch of them. There was one I was thinking about. Ace Ventura, the second one, When Nature Calls. So he walks in and Cadbury's playing he's playing chess, and so far the Ace like goes over and picks up a piece. He's like, and he does this, and he picks it up and shines it in his face, and he puts it back down. They cut away and cut back. All the chess pieces are gone, but then they cut away, cut back, and all the chess pieces are back again. There's like
wow.
different cuts, and the chess pieces just are gone off the table. So it's really fucking. There's obviously different timing.
Somebody fucked
So
that
the
up.
prop master's like, no, we forgot the chess pieces on this
Like, oh,
cut.
shit.
Yeah, it's really fucking cool. And a big one is Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark. When he falls into the Well of Souls and the snake comes up
Yeah.
at the right angle, you can see the plate of glass that separates them. There's a shine off the plate of glass that separates him from the actual snake.
Well, that's just a video mistake, right? Not necessarily continuity.
No, it's not a continuity. It's just a flash. Yeah, it's just a video. Like they shine, the glass was there, and they
little bit too much
the light.
shine.
Yeah, kind of the angle shined the glass. You could see where it
Had to be snakes.
it had to be snakes. Yeah, there's a ton of them. You really should look it up. To me, it is one of the most interesting things because I love movies. I love TV shows. And not that I look for the mistakes. It's just kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like after you've seen it, after you've watched it, and you kind of go back and watch it, you're like, that's kind of cool.
I'm with you on that. Yeah.
It's a little fun to see little continuity errors and mistakes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And once in a while, you see like a boom mic. You know,
Right.
things like that are kind of fun. You see a reflection of like crew in a mirror.
You wait
like,
for
in
it.
the
Now you're like,
glass.
watch, here it comes. Here it comes.
Here's the
And
crew,
there it
here's
is.
the crew right there. You see the
Yeah.
crew reflected in the glasses or something like that. Things like that are just
Yeah.
kind of super cool to watch. For movies.
There's
It's just next level.
all the Disney stuff where they're suggesting that like the clouds spell sex and
Yeah.
Was it Simba the Lion King? Was it that one?
I think so.
And then there's a whole bunch of like
Oh, the cover on Little
Conspiracy
Mermaid was
theories,
was a penis.
The penis, the
yeah.
castle, yeah.
Well, they actually had to like recall and like send out
it.
like.
They did that. There was did you see the Star Wars card? The original Star Wars like baseball card. There was the goldenrod. Was a shot of C-3PO. Remember when he was kind of getting lowered into the oil bath?
Yeah.
There's a shot where like, it was a weird angle or whatever, but literally it looks like there's a penis coming right out of his crotch. Gold, like rod coming right out of his crotch.
Nice, good for you.
It's very
my
limited,
God.
and they had to like reprint them, but a lot of them made it out into the wild.
Shit.
I saw one like on, I think it was a comic book man or something like
Okay.
that. Somebody actually had one and was like trying to sell it.
Yeah.
It really does like
Wow.
this giant rod coming out of his crotch.
Jeez.
Yeah. That was pretty cool. So yeah, I'll have to come up with more of them because they're just one of my favorite parts of watching movies and TVs. Like after I've seen it, I'm like, oh, that's kind of fucking cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's cool.
it's pretty cool. You see like different shit like that, and little trivia and things like that to watching movies. All right, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. What's our rating?
I'm gonna give it 3 bike horns.
3 bike horns.
I like that rating. I'm gonna go 3.5 ha-has, and I'm gonna give it a half if you're drunk to 4. So like 3.5
Sober.
sober, and maybe 4 if you've had a few drinks because there's some funny shit in there that you can quote.
Solid.
I'm just giving a little bump if you've had
Yeah,
a few.
you're giving the drunk bump.
The
That
drunk
might have.
bump,
That might.
yeah,
that-
the
I
drunk
think
bump.
that there's certain movies that we can that applies to.
Yeah.
This is one of them.
All right.
I like it.
Full disclosure, I've never been drunk, so I'm gonna give it 3.5 bow ties.
Okay.
I like how we all picked something different.
Yeah.
All right.
Fucking why not? Why not? Yeah, I think so.
So we got 3, 2 3.5, so 4 if you're drunk.
Yeah.
4 if you've had some beer.
I think
Or
that's a solid.
Yeah.
Solid.
yeah.
Mr. Rubens, what else have you liked him in? Have you ever seen him? Obviously, we've seen him in other stuff.
I used, I've seen, Pee-wee's Playhouse. It's
Yeah.
obviously wasn't targeted to me.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know that I've seen him in much else that I recognize or remember.
What about
Can you
Larry?
name something, and then maybe I can.
Blow.
Blow? Yep. Yep.
Really?
Yeah. Stand by.
I got one thing. I'll tell you one thing that I remember him from.
Go.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
So I was gonna say. So that was.
Shut up.
That's
Yeah.
when he was one of the vampires.
He was the main vampire, not
trying
the
to get
main. He was
into
the
her
second
house, trying to get into the
vampire.
house.
The one that got stabbed. He's like, ah.
So that's my favorite one at the end of the movie. He said, and he kicks the one.
What, was he like,
No.
No,
So
at the
so
end of the movie,
wouldn't it be amazing
they
if
cut
he did?
back and he's still fucking doing it. He's like, and he kicks the wall. He's like, and he's still fucking going by the end of it, like one of these after credit type scenes. It's hysterical. I still laugh to this day. I laugh at that as much as I laugh at when Meet Joe Black gets fucking hit by the car.
That's the second time somebody has mentioned Meet Joe Black to me today.
That is the funniest shit.
Yeah.
The movies, I couldn't care less about the movie. When he gets totaled by the car twice, there's nothing funnier. He gets hit and he goes up like a fucking rag doll, still holding the briefcase. Mind you.
I'll buy that.
And it's like,
I mean, there's something funny about.
but like,
I mean, that sight
they're
gag of
walking
getting
away from each other. Have you seen it?
destroyed by-
Have you ever seen it? They're walking. He and the girl, they're walking away from each other, right? He looks back, she's not looking. So he starts walking. She looks back, he's not looking. Like this happens a couple of times, right? So they keep missing each other's look, right? And then eventually he goes to cross the street, and he looks back, boom, and then all of a sudden this minivan fucking destroys him. He's looping in the air, holding the briefcase. He starts to come down, almost hits the ground, and another car going the other way hits him, and he goes right back up in the fucking air.
I mean, that's amazing.
And then hits the ground. It is the funniest shit, because you don't expect it. If you've never seen the movie, like the whole point is he's dead throughout the movie. He's like a
he's
angel or whatever.
death. Or is he death or is
no,
he
he's
angel?
dead. And he's kind of like almost like a ghost story, right? But like so he has to die. But you did not see that death coming.
Oh, that comes.
And it's not just the fact that he gets hit by a car. He gets hit by two cars going two different directions.
Yeah.
Bang,
And
bang,
then it wrapped up.
and he's still holding the briefcase the whole time. Never loses it.
It looks like his filmography is fairly limited.
Oh, he's got a lot. He's done voiceover stuff.
He's got a lot of voiceover.
He's done tons of voiceover stuff. But as Pee Wee Herman, the character, he's done tons of stuff.
Yeah.
Outside of that, so he was in Blow. He was in Mystery Men.
I don't see Blow in his.
Is he Blam Holmes? There it is.
There you go.
Bam.
He was Johnny Depp's buddy there.
Ka-chow. Sorry, Christian's really into the Lightning McQueen. Ka-chow.
Oh yes, my kids watch all 3 car movies all
He's
the time.
not into the movies yet.
Okay.
We tried. He likes the shorts. Disney has a few of them.
Yeah, I've seen those shorts.
He loves
He
the
loves
shorts.
those, yeah.
And then there's like these stupid YouTube videos that just Griff's Garage or whatever. This guy like makes
Yeah, you gotta
those
get away
crashing
from that
fucking
crap.
horrible
By the way, there's a
stuff.
children's YouTube app.
Yeah, I use that for him.
instead, yeah.
I use that for him. But like he gets it on the TV and it's just awful.
Yeah.
But it's just like a lot of Lightning McQueen cars just jumping and crashing and doing whatever. So he fucking it's a Lightning McQueen and Mater and he loves it.
Actually, this just reminded
He calls it
me.
all Baby Shark though. No matter what it is on YouTube, he wants to watch it. It's all Baby Shark. I'm like, this is
my
not
God.
Baby Shark.
Oh my God.
But it's not even Baby Shark. Like it's not at all Baby Shark. But that's what he calls it. Like, okay. There's actually some really good stuff. There's like these monster trucks that like. Oh, like the Giggles or something like that. They're actually kind of cool because they go over like shapes and colors, but not only that, they go over the whole alphabet, which he can say, by the way.
Awesome.
But then it goes over like near and far,
Good.
high and low, right in front and in back and under and through. Like it demonstrates them and shows them to kids. And that's kind of cool.
That's awesome.
It's not Sesame Street, but at least it's
No,
something.
no, all that stuff is good. They pick it up. They
Yeah,
pick it up.
he definitely does. He definitely does. What were you gonna say?
So this just clicked in my head. So when I was younger, I lived in New York, upstate New York. My father owned a Dunkin' Donuts, my father, my stepmother. And at the time, his best friend also owned a Dunkin' Donuts up there with my stepmother's brother. Upstate New York, which is where Paul Rubens is actually from.
Is that right?
And he was in there, this Dunkin' Donuts happened to
Shut
be...
up. He came into the Dunkin' Donuts?
So it was a 24-hour Dunkin' Donuts that was open, and Paul Rubens was in there. And then, like, somebody else realized who it was. That the guy, my father's friend, had no idea. His Portuguese guy, he had no idea who this guy was.
Yeah.
And he ordered, and it was like, oh my God, that was Paul Rubens. He goes, who the fuck is Paul Rubens? I go, Pee Wee. He goes, who the fuck is Pee Wee? Had no idea. And then I had heard about the next day. I was like, oh, Pee Wee was in the Dunkin' Donuts last night.
Oh my
I
God.
freaked out.
That's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
I just remembered it now. What do you show me? Ask me, what the fuck?
Next T-shirt for Larry.
No.
Ask me.
Yeah. But what is it, though? It's an alien spaceship.
Yeah, the guy being
So for
pulled up
those
by
of
the
you
aliens.
listening, Marco just showed us a picture of a T-shirt with a guy being abducted by aliens, and the quote says, "Ask me about my butthole."
I don't know if I could wear that.
It's late.
ever.
I don't know if I'd want to wear that. I don't think so.
That's gonna get those eyes like I don't know.
That's gonna be a no.
No.
That's gonna be hard. That's gonna be a hard no.
It's a hard no right there.
Could we just take the
Did you
word
show
hard out of
Bruno
it?
the shirt you got?
Oh no.
You're gonna love this. I got it for him.
I have a
doing
new
some
shirt
electrical
that
work.
Mark actually
You're gonna love this.
gave me.
I'll be the judge of whether I love it or not.
So do you love it?
It's pretty good. It's
Just
pretty
in case
good.
the Shogun from Harlem shows
Yes,
up. In
that's
case
pretty
Show
good.
Enough shows
So
up.
the T-shirt that he's showing me right now, it's got Bruce Leroy's Kung Fu Academy from Harlem, New York City.
Established
Established
1985.
1985.
So if you know the last Barry Gordy's the last dragon,
If you know, you know.
you know.
Yeah, right.
Right? Because Larry has
That's
the glow.
cool. That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty
Not
cool.
tonight, you didn't.
No, not
Not
tonight,
tonight. You look like deformed over. Oh my god! But yeah, we got them. If you ever been on the site Moonshot, it's M then 00 N shot. So
Oh, that makes it easy.
yeah, I don't know why the fuck they did that, but anyway, it's Moonshot. They have a shit ton of fun shirts.
Just one of those if you know, you know.
Yeah. I have a ton of shirts from them. But
I run into that. I run into that a lot, where like there's a business and they're totally fucking something up so they could make a lot more money, but they didn't do it. So I'll be like, if you just get your Moonshot M00 N shot, and for the people who are in the know, and then also buy MOONSHOT.com, so the people who don't know
the fuck
can
is that?
still
That would
buy
be
shit.
tricky shit.
Can still buy shit from you,
Yeah.
right? And that way you
It'll
can be
just
all
forward.
clever
It'll just forward
and
over to
still
the right
make some
URL,
fucking
yeah.
money, right?
Yeah. Why can't anybody find us? Because you're too tricky for your own fucking
Because
good.
you're too fucking clever.
Too clever, too smart for your own good. Yeah, but it's a cool site.
Yeah.
I have a lot of shirts from them. I have a
Nice.
lot. I have like the double deuce. I love the ones that
Double deuce.
I do. I have like the Boyd Aviation from Fletch.
Nice. Wow.
I have a shit ton of them. I have
220, 221,
whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. It's all ball bearings
It's all ball
nowadays.
bearings these days.
Right, I have the I have like the Vincent LaGuardia Gambini shirt. I have the
Nice.
Duke and Duke Commodities Broker shirt.
Oh, wow,
I
yes.
have
That's pretty
the,
good.
I
Yes.
have the
I
I have
get
the what do you call it? Cafe Nervosa from Frasier.
Oh, wow.
They
That's
have a
good one.
ton. So I love the show. I have the.
So it's all like inside jokes.
It's all inside jokes. I like the ones that like. There's some of them that have like the people's faces on them from the show. Like, I fucking hate that. I don't want like
Yeah, I'm not a big graphics tee person.
I love graphic tees, but I don't want somebody's fucking face on my chest. I want just
Yeah.
like I want the advertisement for a company or whatever that was in the show or movie. But I don't want to see somebody's fucking face on there. Like the Double Deuce one doesn't have Patrick
You want to
Swayze's
be
one.
OG.
He wants to be clever.
Yeah, he wants to be clever. He wants to
I
be
have
like,
clever.
if you know, you know. He's
Yeah.
like, if
Okay.
you laugh at this,
He's
you
like,
know. You don't need
you know
the graphical
M00.
prompt.
You don't need the face.
M00? Yeah, you too, M00?
M00,
Yeah, right
You
here.
got, you got a
Simpatico,
Focus
simpatico.
martial arts shirt. You don't need my face on it to see his Focus martial arts. You don't need to see my stupid face on the shirt.
That does it. I'm
Right?
going to make a shirt with his face on it.
Yeah, you're going to. I have the. I have. This is deep cuts now. I have the Cohagen Air.
Cohagen Air from, that was
We
the
had 2 hour podcast.
TV show.
Nope.
Wings? What was the one? What was the airline in Wings?
That was Sandpiper Air.
Oh, that's right.
That's his show.
Sandpiper Air. I wish they
Loves
had that one.
shit.
I'm sure they're
Aeromass was the competitor, by the way, in that show. Aeromass.
He's got a compendium of just useless facts.
I really do. I have a brain.
Do you know what it's like leaving this place at night?
I hit him with a fucking quote from something like. If you
And
don't
I'm
know
looking
it,
at him,
then
I'm like,
giving
dude, I
sense.
have no idea. Like, there's not many movies that I can quote, like, verbatim, begins to. There are a
So
couple.
let's just bring it back around. Cohagen Air.
Yeah?
Get your ass to Mars.
Get your ass to Mars.
Oh,
yes.
for Total Recall. Son of a bitch. You summoner.
Yeah, Cohagen, turn on the
I
air.
gotta turn
Oh,
the
you
air.
summoner.
Free Mars.
Get your ass to Mars. I
Get
use
your
that
ass to
quote
Mars.
once a month,
Yeah.
at least. Sometimes with my kids, they're like, "What are you talking about?"
What are you talking? I like the Tashi
Get your ass to
Station.
Mars.
I have the Tashi Station fucking T-shirt from Star
Nice.
Wars.
That's
I like,
amazing.
I have a collection from this company. I have like the Night Industries 2000.
So
fucking
you're the one
shirt.
that's keeping him in business.
Yeah, big time.
They're like, "We got
Big
this one
time.
guy."
Who's
I
bought
have
all
the,
of our shirts?
I have like the One-Eyed Willie's
I'll
like
take one of
maps and
everything.
stuff, like the One-Eyed Willie's maps. order
I
the
don't know
Millie.
what you're talking about.
One-Eyed
from,
Willie from the
Goonies.
Goonies?
Oh, the Goonies. Wow,
Yeah.
that's way going.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was a good movie.
I have like the
That's a
Miyagi,
fucking-
the Miyagi Turbo like bike repair shop fucking
Yes.
T-shirt. Oh yeah. I have the
Did
Hotari
Goonies hold
Hanzo.
up for you?
Oh,
I
that's
watched-
what we're gonna talk. We have to talk about that.
I watched it.
We
about
have to
a
talk
year
about that. The
ago.
guys from the Three Geeky Dads.
Yeah.
They want us to come on one of their shows.
Okay.
Potentially, this is spoilers here, but not their spoiler. They want to potentially come on a show in July, maybe, and do a debate.
Okay,
Maybe.
we'll talk about this off air. I think
Yes.
I got you.
Yes.
Okay, because
Talk about it off air.
yeah.
So hold that thought. And then the other
Okay, I didn't know that was actually going to be.
Yes.
Because I had commented on one of their posts.
Yes.
And I brought that
I
up.
talked to Mark.
Okay.
Hello,
Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Get your ass to the
Oh,
studio.
hi, Mark.
Oh,
so,
hi, Mark.
yeah, so we're going to talk about that. So I have a shit ton of these fucking T-shirts, by the way. So they're just a style. I love wearing them. I got the, what do you call it? The fucking old age home from Golden Girls.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's so funny. The one she'd always.
He's the one.
She's the. No, I got one for Amy too, so we both have one.
There's a happy medium where you can use these references, but they have to be just enough in the, I don't know, pop culture to people to really understand.
No,
it.
you'd fucking
If you
know.
just walked around with like fucking blah 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 on your shirt, people would be like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking
I
about.
have
Nobody
no idea
knows what
what
you're talking
what
about.
the fuck? It's what the hell is the name of it? I just had it in my head. Shady Pines. Shady Pines retirement home.
Mm-hmm.
And Dorothy would always say to Sophia she's going to send her back to Shady Pines.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
that's
when,
right.
And the
when was
reason
the
I
last
got
time?
it-
When was the last time that show was on TV?
It's on constantly. It's on repeat, like on
Oh my God,
Lifetime
yeah.
or whatever.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's still on reruns constantly.
Dude, you want to talk about syndication?
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, it's
Is
constant.
He's still around?
No, none of them are gone.
So they're all done?
Betty
Betty
White
White
was
was
the
last
best
Betty
one.
White was the last one.
So, let me say something. They were getting residuals like
Hey,
literally. Like,
Estelle Getty was one of the first ones to go.
was she? I thought B was.
Yeah, she might have been, but then I think it was Estelle Getty.
Because I know she wasn't the oldest, even though.
No, she was actually one of the youngest.
One of the youngest ones, yeah. But yeah, they were getting residuals like way fucking. Their
Yeah.
family probably still gets residuals.
Yeah.
That thing's and that it's like it's like Friends. Like
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Wayne
Like you put on
Friends is always
CBS and Friends is
still
on
on.
for like
Yeah,
4
yeah,
hours straight. Like all like
Yeah.
that. Everybody loves Ray. Like it's fucking
So
times.
I
million.
used to send all the time. I know we're way off the tangent here. I used to send my mother. I used to get emails like a place for mom, like plan ahead. I used to get emails all the time when I was working in a corporate, and I'd send them to her. I'm like, doesn't this look nice? She's like, fuck you.
Oh my God, that's genius! I would do that to my in-laws.
All the time. I'm like, and if you're not nice to me, I'm gonna put you and dad in the same fucking room. So smarten up. She's like,
boy.
no, don't do that. I'll kill you if you do that. So I got Amy and I both a Shady Pines t-shirt. She's like, what do you wear? I'm like, well, they gave us both one because we put a deposit down. You're an asshole.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that was me. Anyway.
Nice.
And I got, for my dad, because I got the Sanford and Son salvage yard.
Right.
Yep, I saw
Fucking
that
t-shirt. I
recently.
got that one because my dad was like,
That's exactly right.
Fred Sanford with all the junk collecting.
Yeah.
My brother was Lamont. So there you go.
Well,
So a little side plug there for Moonshot
Yeah.
with zeros.
With zeros.
M00 because
And
they're
shot.
so
Because
smart.
they don't know how to do business.
Yeah, they're so smart. They're so clever.
Oh, you're so
Clever. But they have it on sale right now, so get on there. All right, that was awesome. So, gang, let us know what you thought of the episode. Let us know what you thought of Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh, is that what we did?
That's what we talked about.
Oh, all right.
That was a couple minutes. I have to rewind it. There's a couple minutes back there.
Yeah.
With our 3.5, 4 if you're drunk rating. Fantastic.
stuff.
This is Entertainment
stuff.
Rant at entertainmentrants.com. Thank you to Larry.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bruno.
Tell them Large Marge sent you.
At the Alamo.
At the Alamo.
There's no basement in the Alamo.
Thanks, everybody. What are we going to go do?
Rant, let's rant.
Rant.